was crazy. I started my career, well, first I was a go-go dancer, then when I was 14, then by the time I was 17, I was a showgirl in Las Vegas at the Dunes Hotel. And I met Elvis, and I actually went out with Elvis. And the best part about that, well, I mean, there were many good things about it. But the very best part, remember I was underage, right? So anyway, the best part was that Elvis said to me, "You should not stay here in Las Vegas." And I said, "Why? This is my dream. This is what I've always wanted to be." Because of him, as a matter of fact, because I saw him and Anne Margaret in Viva Las Vegas, that movie. Have any of you guys ever seen that movie? It's awesome. Everybody's going, "What is that?" Oh, it's so fantastic. It's his best movie. But I became obsessed with that movie when I was about 14 or 15. And I was like, that's what I want. I want to go to Vegas. I want to be in a show in Vegas, you know. And that was my big dream. And then here I had Elvis, who was the star of that movie, telling me, "You should not stay here. This is a dead-end place. This is no town to live in and work in for a young girl like you." And he and I actually sang together on the piano. He played the piano and I sang. And he said, "You have a really good voice. Why don't you take vocal lessons and maybe get as a singer or something, you know?" And I was like, really, really? And of course, coming from Elvis, I went out the next day, I got vocal lessons, and within about a month, I had a job in Vegas singing in the same show that I was in, which happened to be called Viva La Girls, which was, I mean, so pretty bizarre, right? Anyway, I always say, at that time, I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records as the youngest showgirl in Las Vegas. If it was not for Elvis Presley, I would now be the oldest showgirl in Las Vegas. So that was a true story.
That's phenomenal. I don't have you here too much longer, but I know that you're such a huge fan of The Walking Dead, right? And we're all anxiously awaiting October when it comes back. So yeah, how did you feel about the season finale, the cliffhanger? And B, who do you think is going to get this season?
Okay. Well, the finale really left me very disturbed. I really didn't like it. I mean, it's really creepy. Honest to God, I rarely have nightmares, and I had a nightmare about that thing. It was just so creepy. And of course, I don't want any of the characters to be gone. I don't know if you guys saw me, but if you go on my Twitter feed or my Facebook feed, did you see me? I'm kneeling. I'm at San Diego Comic-Con. They had wax figures of all the cast, and they had Negan standing there with the club, and I jumped in and kneeled down next to everybody, and I went, me, pick me. You gotta see it, it's pretty damn funny, I must say. Anyway, I don't know, it was really disturbing. I'm hoping, I mean, my hope is that my hope is that someone who's not in that line, but is a couple of characters on the show that are out there running around loose, my hope is that somehow at the last minute, they will save these guys. They will save all of them. So that's my hope. I'm an optimist.
And did you see the San Diego Comic-Con trailer for the season 7 with the tiger?
No, I didn't.
You're going to check that out. The tiger's coming.
Oh, great.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Oh my God, really? Wow.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's a perfect time for your cameo. Let's get you in there. So everybody tweet to Robert Kirkman, and we need Elvira in The Walking Dead. So what's the one thing before we go to wrap up? I have a young daughter. She's almost 13. And she loves the arts. So what's the advice you give to young ladies who are just beginning their own path in this industry?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. I have a daughter too who's 21, and my advice just went like, phew, right over her head. She doesn't care what I say. But is your daughter interested in show business?
She is, in everything arts. She's interested in it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
She's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
There she is right there. She's waving her hands.
Hey, okay. I say, run as far as you can. No, show business is awesome. And if that's what you want to do, my advice is to get into school plays, little small theater around town, and just start being in anything you can be in, practicing. Theater, live theater, and stage is fantastic learning ground for acting. At some point, when you're a little older, you will probably have to move to LA, and I would say really people go to New York, but it's a tough town, man. I lived there for about a year and a half, too, trying to break into theater, and nothing was happening. Went to LA, and it began to click. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, if you really, really, really love acting, it's not the star or the money you want, but you really love the acting, the part of it, the creative part of it, just keep doing it, keep doing it. I don't want to bum you out, but I was doing dancing, singing, and acting from the time I was 14, and I finally got famous and got a job that paid my rent and I could live on when I was 30. So it took a lot of time. I always say the difference between me and all my girlfriends that I went on auditions with, there was a bunch of really, great looking girls that we all see each other on the audition, we became friendly. And the difference is that one by one, they dropped out. They married a lawyer, they married a car salesman, they were just like tired of struggling and living like a bum. I had a crappy apartment, crappy car, really, really struggling to get by. And one by one, they got tired of it. By the time they were 30, they I had enough. And I just kept going. I kept going. So I think the secret is if you really, really love it, and that's what you really want to do, you just keep going. It may take a while, but you'll eventually get there for sure.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And we're going to keep going.